Last man standing, not MMA, but in fact Ryung. And can he defeat Kangho and our mystery final potential LGIM player?
It's going to be very difficult, I feel, because now we have two players that he has to go through. MMA did this in the team match against MVP. He was able to pull it off, but it's not going to be easy. And Ryung, he is a strong player, but can he take down Kangho, who was really strong in the last game? And then, of course, LGIM, they're already talking about what happens if Kangho loses here. If Lucira cannot take down Ryung, who is confident to be the last player for the team.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting choice. I feel, you know, we've seen already Yoda come out, and I don't think there's going to be a Terran player to meet Ryung, because Ryung's already so good at Terran versus Terran anyways. That might be Seed's moment, but time will tell if we come to that, because if Kangho wins here, it's all over for Axiom-Acer.
You know, like really what you just pointed out, the Terran versus Terran. When we remember the last time that Ryung played in the GSTL, he was one of the players that was chosen to go up against Team MVP. After Alicia lost to Keen, Ryung was the player who won in the Terran versus Terran. So I can agree with you here. Yeah. If he now takes the game against Kangho, I feel we will see a different matchup.
Seed might be the guy.
Seed, Squirrel, we could see ST, we could MC. There are so many players.
Map is Icarus, such a great map choice for Ryung, because Zerg play on this map is often predictable. Third base is so difficult to take. Oftentimes Zerg will go for a Zergling feigning Roach attack, sometimes just Roach attack, and if you scout that, if you have any idea your opponent's going for this, all you have to do is do a build that counters it, and then you can easily take your third, or you can counterattack and win the game. It's a very uncomfortable map for Zerg to play in past that timing attack phase. We have seen some Zergs make it work, but it's very, very difficult.
I personally love to see matches on this map. They are always exciting. We have so many pushes, as you pointed out, a lot of aggression. What are they going to do? What will we see coming into potentially the last game of the day? Kangho, aka Lucira, he looks confident. To the right side of the screen, to the left, of course, we have the challenger. We have for Axiom-Acer, their last man standing, a Terran player once again. This time it is Ryung, not MMA. Can he pull through? We're gonna find out right now at the GSTL Season 1 2013. Axiom-Acer up against LGIM, brought to you by Kaldon Wolf. Starting to the bottom right, the last man standing for Axiom-Acer, it is
Axiom Young.
Well, it's ID kind of representing a soul, and see if he has the soul to do it. He's up against the Zerg in the opposite corner of the map, the bottom right in the blue, formerly Lucira, now he is
LGIM Kangho.
I like that. He's got some fire in that intro.
Yeah, he definitely does. Ken is stepping up a little bit after people told him that he sounds a little bit bored.
Yeah, he sometimes has the tendency to be like that.
I have a question directed at everyone that is out there currently watching this and watched yesterday's GSL Codas. We were at the studio, so we were basically listening and watching the Korean stream, which is shown on the big screen here. And I was very surprised to see Street Fighter Voice doing the intros for all the players and not Ken. And I'm not quite sure if Street Fighter Voice could be heard on the international stream or if it was actually Ken announcing the players.
Yeah, that is a really interesting question. Tweet at Prox or tweet at Caldor about this. I'd love to hear the answer to that, because we didn't watch the international stream, watch the Korean stream.
I was really surprised, and it hit me halfway through the matches when the players were introduced. I was like, whoa, wait a second. This has such a familiar ring to it, and it's not Ken. And I actually, Street Fighter Voice is just epic. I really love the guy.
Well, you know, something very special happened yesterday. Calder and I got pizza.
Oh, yeah. That's actually a really good point.
Thank you to Mike Morhaime, who you can also tweet at if you type his name. In fact, Mike Morhaime on Twitter, you can tweet at him. I'm sure many of you have already done that, but...
Yeah, Mike Morhaime actually has a Twitter. It's just simply his name, so you can add him there and definitely let him know what you think about Heart of the Swarm, what you think about the WCS, because they are always happy to receive feedback, and if you think that they did a good job, I personally think it's an amazing job. I think this is the future of StarCraft. Yep. Then let him know.
This is the building blocks, you know, of a bigger future. This is not about even the now as much as it is about the later. Now, Lucira did lose his scouting drone, but he saw everything he needed to see. He saw the fast command center, very common on this map. Notice he takes this gas. On this map, the backdoor expansion has 2 gold patches for minerals, and the geyser is a rich Vespine geyser.
Yeah, exactly. So the Overlord also now in the main base getting the scouting information. He knows about the timing for the barracks here and everything. Sees, of course, also if there's gas being taken. Scouting information, this is the key of StarCraft 2. If you are a new player, you always want to make sure that you scout what's going on. That will help you. And we talked about this in the last game. Crank would possibly have, or most likely, won the game against Lucira, against Kango, if not for this Overlord that saw everything that was going on in the main base of the Protoss.
Yeah, definitely true. Mr. Chase at the studios even talked to him about the strategy. We both talked about how it was really cool that he hit his gateways in so many different places, but the scouting information was what led to his demise.
Yeah. And it was well played. It just shows that Kango is really a very experienced player. And this rock, paper, scissors game that you always play when you engage in a StarCraft match, this is what he showed on the highest level. He saw exactly what kind of unit composition he was facing, and he thought, okay, what do I have at my disposal that I can use to take this apart? And he is going to follow the same concept now, going into a different matchup, into the Zerg versus Terran. We already have him here with Burrow, and oh my god, I love this. You know why? I was actually talking to so many Zerg players, analyzing roach timings, roach pushes, and at the very beginning of Out of the Swamp, the very first game, we saw Lucky go for a burrow timing, and these days, nearly no Zerg player goes for a burrow timing, because in these early stages, if you want to push out with roaches, get an early lead, 100 is actually a lot. He even goes into lair right now.
Well, he could go for the fake. He could also go for roach speed with his attack. Nice. But it looks like a fake, yeah.
This is awesome. Oh my god.
This is so smart because on a map like this, it's so much stronger than the map we saw it on previously where Lucky did it. Yeah. So with the extra minerals and the extra gas you have from that backdoor expansion, you can really make this work. And I said before, this is a little bit predictable, an attack like this on a map like this, but instead of going for a defensive strategy, Ryung is trying to get a fast third command center, which makes him vulnerable here.
I am in love, Wolf. I really, really love this. The idea here is not necessarily to take the opponent down. You want to cripple his economy, and the push is strong. But it's the cherry on top of the ice cream. It's like you have right now Burrow, and with Burrow, you will force out scans of your opponent. And at some point, the problem will occur that he won't have any scans anymore, so you can always heal the roaches and pop in again.
Yeah.
And the only thing that you could do is go into Marauders. And do we see Marauders for Ryung? No, not a single one. Even Widow Mines are not enough.
And he does see the roaches with the SCV on the map, or did he? Now the Widow Mines come through and he makes the bunker, so he knows something is coming his way. Another hatchery goes down after he's scouted and he starts Marauders.
He needs them. He really, really needs them. Without the Marauders, he doesn't stand a chance here.
Oh, he's got the pre-pull on the SCVs. The counterattack with the Hellions is actually really, really smart.
Yeah, he needs that too.
Because the Hellions not going to be useful in a fight. Now the SCV is trying to repair your reply time for that bunker.
Yeah, but here come those Hellions and the counterattack. This is really strong. He needs to micro at the top, burrow those injured roaches, take down as many SCVs as possible. But look at the pull here. There is so much going on this map right now.
Yeah, 3 Hellions killing so many Harvesters right now. He's down to 24, but the roaches do break through. You know, he has to micro 2 blazes at once. He has to micro his drones, but also the burrow on the roaches. And it looks like he's struggling here a little bit.
Well, he's taking out a lot of Harvesters already. The Harvester count is still in favor of the Terran player, who also relies on mules, but he can do a lot here. The problem are those Marauders right now.
Yeah, and remember, he has a third command center, which also has been transformed into an orbital, so he has extra scans. He also has the extra mules once his SCVs get cleaned up.
That third orbital, this is really doing the trick right now for Ryung. Having those extra SCV production capabilities, having the extra scans and the mules and the Marauders. The scout was there in time. I cannot believe how well Ryung defends against this.
Yeah, that was actually excellently done by him. Roach killed mid-burrow.
That was really, really well done. I mean, sorry, but kudos to Ryung. This was amazing. He lost a lot of Harvesters, but he had the Marauder response there. The Hellions, as you pointed out, the counter-attack, that was so key.
Yeah, because the Hellions are not going to do damage against those armored roaches enough to turn the tide for you. You're going to need those Widow Mines, so it's a twofold advantage that you get from sending them across the map. Lucira, though, does have a third base. During all of this, he was able to secure that, and that's what is keeping him alive in this game right now.
But you're so right. Those Hellions, they don't help you at all against roaches. They're just victims standing there and taking punches, maybe taking a little bit of damage, but even that is not likely to happen. So sending them around the army of the Zerg player into the mineral line, make sure that he's losing a lot of drones too. And once again, the idea is not necessarily to kill the Terran player here. The idea is to take down as many SCVs as possible, forcing as many scans as possible, and crippling your opponent's economy. That would have worked well, if not for those Hellions doing so much damage at the bottom right that he suddenly lost economy too.
Yeah, and that one SCV that spotted everything. We talked about how important the information in StarCraft 2 is, and it was just further emphasized by that. Queen not in that Widowmine range for long enough, if she wasn't there at all, to trigger it, so Queen's going to walk away free. Third base for Ryung is going to be relatively easy for him to take because he has built up this army. He is relatively behind in Harvesters, though, because he lost so many in that fight. This is something that he's going to have to make sure he stays on top of. He cannot afford to be idle with his command centers.
But those mules, they really come through for him. He's already about to complete +1/+1. He has the armory lined up, more and more Widow Mines, just setting up this defense here. Ryung is in a position that I like a lot. He's still down in overall supply a little bit, but this is soon going to change. He will make an exponential leap very soon.
Yeah. Uh-oh. This is really unfortunate for Kongho. He does not see this forest until it's too late. He's out of position with his roaches. This base could actually be sniped. He has to make a tough choice here. Does he turn his roaches around and go for the counterattack? He goes for the counterattack here, but he loses so many Harvesters. Yes, there's the burrow, but he targets the hatch, and there's no way this hatch is surviving.
Yeah, there are no banelings or anything. The roaches alone, they won't be enough, and the hatch is gone. This means a 3-base Terran player against a 2-base Zerg. Have fun with that.
I mean, the Widow Mines here get some good hits off, eliminating most of the hit points on the roaches. They can't burrow, they'll just be scanned and killed. He wants to trap them with the T-Pos, not quite able to do it, but Kongho supply-wise right now, even though he's ahead, he just doesn't have the right units, and roaches are only good if you have a ton of them against bio. Otherwise, the healing power of the Medivacs just becomes too much.
Marauders with Medivacs and those upgrades is just too tough for the roaches to engage him. This is not going to work well for Kongho. This is basically his last desperate attempt, because he knows catching... I mean, he will try. Don't get me wrong, he'll try. But he knows that at this point, he's fighting a losing battle.
Yeah, and he needs to try to either switch composition, which is very difficult for him to do right now on 2-base, or just try to keep his roaches alive long enough to where he has a large enough force on them, which just gets worse and worse over time.
One thing is that he doesn't really mine at the third just yet. He's now transferring SCVs over, so it's not as bad yet as it could be. These multiple attacks by Kongho, this is what really helps him right now to just not
survive.
to survive and not give Ryung the lead that he could already have. But the big problem now are the upgrades. +2/+2 on its way, dropships coming in, the third being saturated now, and the defense set up. So now things are gonna spiral out of control. Up to this point, Kongho kinda held his own, but right now is this, I don't know.
Well, he's going to have to deal with more and more drops. Drops are going to start coming in full force here because he knows there are no mutas to stop him. So every time he goes for a drop, he knows that at the very least he won't lose very much. And he will, at the best case, kill a bunch of Harvesters. And he's done it already multiple times. He's now coming in here. He may be able to kill his hatchery once more, which has just now only been restarted.
Yeah, and we now have a Harvester lead for the Axiom-Acer player. 61 against 45. Ryung finds himself in a very good position in the middle of the map, even controlling the center now.
It's an uphill battle for the rest of the game for Kongho. The upgrades are going to potentially be the nail in the coffin because, yes, he has a lot of roaches. He's built those up, but they don't have the armor they need. And with this much firepower, the Medivacs and also the Widow Mines to assist, Kongho is going to have to basically hope for a miracle here. He's on the right team for that, but
yeah, he needs an incredible one, that's for sure.
He's got that large roach force. This is something that Ryung is going to have to account for, because if he ever gets caught out of position where he's not killing a hatchery, but Kongho's at his bases, he can't really turn around very comfortably. The roach force is very strong if it's not fighting the bio.
One of the problems is that he just doesn't have Mutalisk. Committing this much to roaches, he is very, very dangerously exposed to drop play, and this is what Ryung is completely abusing right now. Yeah. He knows that drop play is an issue for Kongho, and that's why we see those Medivacs just roaming across the map.
He's so lucky that Ryung did not target down his evolution chamber that was researching +2, or he would have lost it. He went for the drones instead at the very first moment there. The Widow Mine count is getting higher and higher. He's getting 3 more, and he's also getting the burrow upgrade for them.
The Roach Warren. This is not looking good.
Certainly not. Kongho is on the edge here of defeat.
Yeah, Marine is moving in, the Medivac is bouncing, and we have now the rest of the Bio Forces being set up. Where are the Widowmines? There they are, getting their shots off.
Oh, and that was a massacre. We saw down that choke point with all these Medivacs. Mules being dropped, and Ryung will take us to the final set here. Kongo just does not have enough, dropping down to 70 supply. GG.
GG indeed. Kongo not with the game that he wanted to show here. His early aggression did not do anything. The counter aggression of Ryung was too good. Strong performance here by the Axiom-Acer player. Really well done.
Yeah, he dominated with that scout, made the right choices. And I'm loving the banter going on here. Ryung, since he doesn't need any of those high fives, he just wants to beat the last player. And that is the only unknown right now. Hirai, who are you going to pick? Are you going to send Seed, which seems to make the most sense to me? Are you going to send someone else out, though, like Ragnarok, and do a ZVZ? TVZ again, sorry.
I'm just blown away by the performance of Axiom-Acer today. You know, we talked in the preseason about how they have to step it up a little bit, how they said themselves that they thought there was too much pressure on them because they wanted to prove themselves. And we were actually a bit afraid that they might not make it in this season. And now suddenly they defeated MVP in the first game that they had. Now they are 3-3 against LGIM. Even if they lose the last game, and at this point Ryung could definitely take it, but even if they lose it, then we still have them with only
one negative point.
Exactly, this is insane. They do so well. Much better than I thought they would do in this season.
It's actually a great story to see these guys come out here and play. This season is just starting. We're just in our third week here.
Boss Toss.
And Boss Toss is waiting. He could potentially come out himself, but we're in the position now where it's like storylines are starting to develop, but we have so many more weeks of matches to come through. And even though we have two teams that are in a position where they've both been all killed and they're at the bottom of the ranking, even they could come back. It's going to be an awesome season. Yeah. I love the format change.
Yeah, me too. I really, really like this. And now we are in a position where we want to find out who is going to be the last player for LGIM. It would be epic to see someone. I mean, whatever they choose, it's going to be a great game. MC, Squirtle, Seed, Nesty.
Yeah, Nesty could come out. He's been dormant for a little while. He's on that bench. He looks as tall as ever. He did give Keller some trouble earlier with an arm wrestle as well. So that could, that might be on his mind. He's like, well, I almost beat Keller in arm wrestling. So like,
the funniest thing is actually when we started there, they did a countdown, but it was actually not a number countdown in Korean. They said probably something like, ready, set, go. I had no idea, and suddenly I'm just waiting. MC comes on, and NST's just a bam. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I was just looking, and everyone was laughing, and MC was like, okay, maybe we should do this a little bit different.
Yeah, man, that can be tricky. But in all seriousness, we could have anybody here.
Yeah.
Who's it gonna be?
Yal to the top left. Squirtle bottom right. MC. It is Squirtle. Oh. MC is walking to the booth together with him. Time for the boss toss.
MC is not messing around, except with that opening he was messing around. But when he sits in that booth, he's not going to mess around. And, I did not expect MC to come out today. But I'm excited for it, man.
Oh, I'm really excited.
I mean, coming off of the confidence of beating me in an arm wrestling match after tricking me, he's got to be feeling great about that. And he is the last man standing. Whoever wins this final game decides everything.
MC, the boss toss himself, the Obama toss. He wants to be the last player for his team. He wants to do it. He wants to pull it off. He went far at MLG. Now he's playing in Korea again. He's playing at the GSTL. He is playing for LGIM, for his own team, for SK. Can he pull it off? He defeated so many Terran players at MLG. We're going to talk about that in just a few. I cannot wait for this game, Wolf.
This is going to be an epic conclusion. No matter who wins, no matter who loses, I think the final game, game number 7, may be our best yet. MC looks very confident, and I'm not just talking about him messing around with Squirtle a second ago. Just seeing him in the booth there, you see no nerves.
Star Station. Gonna be our map in just a few. Terran versus Protoss. Ryung with a win against Gango, against Lucira. Now he's up against the boss toss himself. MC is looking strong, he's looking good. Can he do it? Can he come through for LGIM?
He may be able to do just that. It is a very large map. Wants to play into his late game strengths potentially.
And we are ready.
It's time, man. The players are in the booth. The countdown has started. Star Station, man. This is just, it's a perfect stage for this match.
It definitely is. The last game of the day. Who takes the win? Is it going to be Axiom-Acer once again after they were successful against Team MVP? Or is it going to be LGIM with the boss toss, their final player, the last man standing, the Obama toss? We are heading into the game right now here at the GSL Season 1 2013. Axiom-Acer tied with LGIM. The last game going to be Ryung versus MC. Brought to you, of course, by Caldon Wolf.
This is going to be excellent. We are in the lobby now of our Game Heart game. And the players have said they are ready. They both pressed the ready button.
It's time to get this party started.
Game 7, set 7. The winner of this takes it all. Will it be Ryung? Will it be MC? The countdown in-game has begun. For Star Station, this is the GSTL. This is the deciding match. And I can only hype this up so much, but I think once we get in game, I won't need to do any more hyping.
No, we are fine and we are jumping in right now. The last game of the day, guys. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast so far. It will be over after just one short match. Star Station, our last map here. MC versus Ryung. Jump into the game here, the GSTL 2013.